Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, or for some of you all, it may be Saturday morning. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer, happy Saturday to you, or Friday night to some of y'all. Hope this doesn't confuse anybody. Hey, Carlene Beckford, Rafaela Bertoni, Lydia Washington, Adrian Burrow, and a host of friends and others. Well, last night I completely powered down my PC, just to reset it and to help it do what it need to do. And um, I'm hoping everything just works smoothly. Sometimes you know how it goes, it gets weird. Oh my goodness. I Dream a Genie bottle from Della's second season, mirrored purple bottle, Pogata spirit bottle decoration. Isn't that something? That's one of those collector's items is the I Dream a Genie bottle. But to get the original, did you know that was, I believe it was a whiskey decanter? I think the original I Dream a Genie bottle was a whiskey decanter. So um, I'm just sitting up here looking at all kind of nonsense on the interweb. Okay, that's the first time I've seen that. But what would you do with something like that? It's not like you can just, I mean, if you're like one of those TV show people that love all the old sitcoms, then of course that would be fun to own if you are into those kind of things. Worldwide birthday celebration has been a while. Okay. All right, let's get on with it, shall we? I don't think we'll be here much longer than an hour. Okay, sad news. Statement on the passing of Miss Marian Robinson from Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, uh, Craig and Kelly Robinson, and their children. Marian Louise Shields Robinson, our mother in law, and grandmother, had a way of summing up the truths about life in a word or two, maybe a quick phrase that made everyone around her stop and think. Her wisdom came off as almost innate, as something she was born with, but in reality, it was hard earned, fashioned by her deep understanding that the world's roughest edges could always be sanded down with a little grace. And I believe that was written by the former president, Barack Obama. But yeah, so we lost Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Shield Robinson, um, today, age 82, I believe she was. Yeah. Actually, I think I have it here on the next page. There we go. Marian Louise Robinson. Of course, her maiden name was Shields, and she was born on the 29th of July, 1937, and we lost her today on May the 31st, 2024. Let me see. She was the mother of Michelle Obama, the First Lady of the United States, and Craig Robinson. Of course, that's Michelle Obama's brother, a basketball executive. She was the mother in law of Barack Obama, the former president of the United States. And one of my favorite memories of Mrs. I'll keep wanting to say, you know what I keep wanting to say, but Mrs. Robinson, of course, was election night, that first election night. But there she is standing proudly by her daughter. Who could have ever known? Know how I'm always saying it. One day, any child can grow up and be president of the United States. So long as they're born in the United States and they are of age 35 or older, anybody can be president of the United States. Well, of course, the same applies for the first spouse, or in this case, the first lady. So far, all we've had was first ladies, but that, of course, happened for Michelle Obama, and there's her mother is proudly standing by her side. It is one of the things that made the transition from their house in oh God, what is the neighborhood? Um, oh no, it's not Hyde Park. It's actually Kenwood on the south side of Chicago. I think they're right on the border of Hyde Park. Yeah. So one of the things that made the transition from Kenwood to the White House so easy was having Michelle's mother there to help the transition, especially where the grandkids were concerned. Um, wow, a long way from the south side of Chicago for both mother and daughter. Oh, she was 86? Oh, thank you so much. And take a look here. There is that famous image from election night. Look at mom wearing her lanyard. She has her identification saying that she is supposed to be there. After all, I am the mother in law. But yeah, they got on very well, and that is a good thing. And look at Barack Obama armed with his Blackberry, I believe that is on his hip. Barack Obama famously loved his Blackberry. The Secret Service wanted to take it from him because they said it could be an issue of national security, but they had to find some kind of way to adapt the phone where he would be able to use it as he had done in civilian life. So that was one of the interesting parts about that trip to the White House is they had to give up certain things like driving themselves from point A to point B. Now, frequently, I'm told, I don't know this for sure, but I believe frequently there were trips back and forth to Chicago for Mrs. Robinson, but I don't have any direct knowledge of that myself. But still, I believe they maintain a house on the south side of the city. So, yep, absolutely. Condolences to Marian Robinson's family, and of course to this country. I mean, after all, she had become a fixture for those 8 years of the White House. Okay, that is that, and I will continue here. First Lady of Nigeria clarifies comments about Meghan Markle amid false reports. Okay, so this was in People magazine, right? And while I don't want to bring up all of that stuff again, I believe we all said what we said and we felt the way we felt, and I am ready to move on. But fortunately, almost 3 weeks to the day from the start of the Sussex's arrival in Nigeria, it's taken this long, almost a week to the day, um, for the People magazine to chime in on it. My point being is that whatever was meant, whatever was said, it is it took too long to reply after the speech, the unfortunate speech from the Nigerian First Lady. It took a heck of a long time for us to get to this point where we finally heard from the First Lady's office. I would hope that in the future, should something like that happen again, no matter who is involved with it, that we can move a little bit faster because unfortunately, the sour note was lingering in the air for far too long. That is my only criticism at this point, is that it took too long to reply, and it would have been so much better for everyone involved because, yes, most of the people who are going to talk about it have talked about it, but unfortunately, there's still a few publications and such that we have not heard from, which means that it will linger on the palate for that much longer. So, my only criticism at this point is that it took too long to respond. The office of Senator Alarumi Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria, has clarified her recent speech mentioning Meghan Markle. The First Lady's office said that she never referenced Meghan's dressing. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex visited Nigeria at the invitation of the highest ranking military official from May 10th to May 12th. The First Lady of Nigeria is clarifying her remarks after a recent speech was misrepresented, misinterpreted as criticism of Meghan Markle's attire during her visit to the country. The First Lady, Senator Larumi Tinubu, made headlines after Meghan's visit when a video surfaced of her discussing the challenges faced by Nigeria's youth at an event celebrating the first year of her husband's Bola Ahmed, is it Ahmed Tinubu's presidency? Oh, is that his name? Okay. But whatever the case may be, it just took too long. Should have gotten to that much faster. Should have gotten to that much faster. And as a politician, I believe she should have known better. You cannot let these things fester because it makes a bad situation worse. So that's all I'm going to say is that it took too long to respond. All right, I'm going to move on. Camilla Parker Bowles discovered the price of her physical transformation. This was in The Closer, which I believe, is that a French publication? Anyway, Camilla Parker Bowles' dense Botox peeling regime, something transformation, physique, something. Well, anyway, interestingly enough, as someone had posted this article saying that it seems like the one of the squatties posted this. She said it seems like the one of the French magazines was coming for her. If The Closer is a French magazine, well, that may be the case, but I want you to take a look on the right. If you're wondering, what does this have to do with that? Ancient something, it says there, the problem with society today is no one drinks from a skull of their enemies anymore. A reference to those Barbary, one of those, what do you call it? One of those back in the old days when there was so much violence from one tribe to another, when there were marauding bands of people terrorizing the like for instance when the let's say the Vikings, when the Vikings would raid the British Isles, right? Or when the Vikings have gone just about anywhere. Or how about the what's another one of those tribes from Europe? Well, anyway, they would swoop down those tribes and they would find those paganistic people and they would uh, steal and assault, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's what that references. So of course, this is not really a human skull. This is a something that is like what do you call it? A modeled on one of the old relics from the past, right? So what does that have to do with Camilla? I'm going to tell you what I think happened. So this was on the thread. They insert things on the thread on Twitter that seem like it would somehow, um, shall we say, complement the article, right? Or the posting that was made. Well, in this case, someone tweeted something about Camilla, and the algorithm matched it with a skull um, chalice or whatever you want to call that thing, some kind of skull. My point is, the algorithm somehow read the image of Camilla and tried to find something from an advertiser that seemed like it would be complimentary of it. And so that's what ad they put on there. I have never seen an ad like this anywhere on Twitter until Camilla's article there popped up. So I do believe that the AI, the algorithm or whatever it is, somehow misinterpreted the article. I don't know what they thought it was about. Maybe anthropology or I don't know. Maybe they thought it was archaeology or something like that. They thought maybe Camilla was the result of an archaeological dig, and so they decided that this that this would be perfect and that maybe they could actually help this company sell some of these things. And so that's what I think. Now, I can't promise you that that is the reason, but I'm going to keep track of things from now on and take notice of what's being advertised along with whatever tweet or article or story. So, yeah, I think someone, well, not someone, but something associated Camilla with a relic from ancient times. I promise you guys, I'm not making this up. That you see there, it says ad. Now, I could have done a big screenshot so you could see how it was all part of the same thing, but that would have made everything so much smaller. So I just, did some smaller screenshots. But poor Camilla. Let's see. Madam F says Seabiscuit should get her money back. Thank you so much for the super chat and thank you for being here. Um, yeah, I think it's interesting. And I even did a what do you call it? I did a refresh on the page to see if it went away, and it didn't. It was still there. So that darn algorithm. Just like when Charles shared that portrait, when they first posted images of Charles' portrait, I would have thought for sure that some type of hygiene product may have been advertised along with it, but it was not. There were no hygiene articles that were advertised in any of these stories that I read about the image of Charles III. But it should have been. Jules Ryder says maybe it's a jab at her face, Baron. She's so purty, isn't she? Barf. She sure is purty. Pretty weird looking. But thank you so much for the comment. Um, I tell you, uh, if it was for the sake of Camilla, I don't know how far back in history that you would have to go to find to find that kind of beverage, Rohini. But where Camilla's concerned, I don't know. You could have gone back pretty far because she hasn't been in that kind of situation whew, since the Dodgers left Brooklyn, I suspect. the last time, the last time Camilla was that virtuous, I think they were just signing the Louisiana Purchase, right? I think they were just signing the Louisiana Purchase when when Camilla was that virtuous. I believe that either that or maybe it was when Moses parted the Red Sea. Maybe that's when she was a virtue. But anyway, it's been a long time. It really has been. uh, Uh, I was so sure when she walked into Westminster Abbey, I was so sure that the sky was going to just like send a bolt of lightning down um, for her and for Charles, but it didn't happen. I thought they were going to be struck on their way in. Do believe that's why it took them so long to get them out that carriage. They were probably hoping that there was no uh, thunder or lightning activity. I mean, it was raining, so, but yeah, there's always that chance that that nature might come after them. Oh well, let me stop. Um, Poor Camilla. Now, Diana, Princess of Wales. So I was speaking about this idea of them trying to erase Diana's uh, memory or history. And one of the squatties that she has amazing skills when it comes to finding some of these old articles. And I don't want to send people to her page because I mean her Twitter account because it just the derangers they do the most. But anyway, it was one of the squatties that dug this out. Diana's memory being erased. In what could apparently erase Diana's memory, the British royal family has ordered an overhaul of the Kensington Palace. Was once the late Princess of Wales residence, right? Well, I believe that Diana's offices, I mean, actually, Diana's apartment has been used for storage and for like overflow office space now. Um, I guess they don't want anybody to live there. And I could imagine there would be a bit of a stigma for anybody who decided that they actually wanted to live there. Maybe nobody just wanted it at all. So, from what I hear, it's been used as storage and as office space. And over here, and by the way, that article was from 2010. Over here on the right, it says the firm has won. Diana's been erased from history. Now, that is an Amanda Platel article from 2012. And when I say this, I don't mean to like get you guys all riled up or anything, but it does seem to be at play because I cannot tell you how many documentaries, how many books, and how many magazine articles, newspaper articles there have been. I really couldn't keep track where they, in some way, form or fashion, rewrite Diana's story. And in some cases, they omit huge sways of things that Diana has done. And if it wasn't for Charles and Camilla being in the position they're in, um, this would not have been happening. But it is a very organized, very deliberate action from the palace to do this because of Charles and Camilla. I promise you, I don't see it any other way. They are the reason why this has been happening. And I hope that um, Harry has a way where he can help um, bolster Diana's image in a way that will, not rock the boat too much, right? Um, but at the same time, something that would be dignified and proper to keep her memory alive. But to do that, you do risk the raft of some of those people in the institution. And some of the people that are doing their best to try to change history, those are some of the people that knew Diana. But some of the articles, if you look at some of those articles from the time of the rocky parts of their marriage and eventually the divorce and separation or separation and divorce, um, there seemed to be a lot of people in the media that was siding with the institution. And Diana just didn't have that many people that were willing to tell her side of the story. I mean, she did have some friends in the media, but who owns the media? Usually a bunch of very wealthy white men who do not identify with a Princess Diana. They identify with the status quo, other incredibly wealthy white men. So it was not easy for her to get her truth out there, which is why she had to be so covert when it was time to tell her story. Karma is coming for the evil Windsors. Diana will be vindicated. Yeah, well, you know what? We can do our part. We can do our part. If you have social media from time to time, just keep reposting positive things about the Princess of Wales. Keep posting positive things about her because Diana's legacy is just far too rich and too important to be forgotten about. And I was so frustrated with the crown because I could see what they were doing. I could see what they were doing, and they did not paint an attractive picture of Diana. But then again, the actor who plays Charles is a friend of Charles, right? And then somehow the guy from Netflix, Peter Morgan. Well, Peter Morgan is a royalist first, Netflix later. He was rewarded at some point. He's friends with Charles and Camilla, and then even the guy from Netflix gets some type of reward from the palace. So all of those things considered, I wouldn't even say that they were just being neutral with Diana. I think they did a real hatchet job on her. I really do believe that. All whilst they're yelling that it's so unfair for Harry and Meghan to have their contract. But it seems as though the institution took a contract out on Diana's memory. What's that? I love the picture. Oh yeah, that the artwork that he got when they were in Nigeria. That was beautiful. Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? 365 days of inspiration from Diana campaign posted on social media. It really should be. I think that the next anniversary of her unexplainable demise in that tunnel in Paris, I believe that there will be an uptick at that point, and then also for those birthdays. Let me see, because I think the next big um, birthday for her will be her 70th birthday, perhaps 65th or 70th birthday, and then of course there will be some type of something in her memory then. But it's just not enough for me. It's not enough. I don't like that this has been happening. So over here, Palace slammed for erasing Diana from history in Charles' birthday video. So apparently, for his birthday video, which I did not see, to mark Prince Charles' 70th birthday, a series of family photos have been released, as well as a documentary and a brand new biography. A video was also released on the Clarence House Twitter page. But I suppose absent from that was Princess Diana. Again, that was deliberate. And so over here, take a look at this. After King Charles Mountbatten Windsor signed Homburg's Golden Book, he had a nostalgic look at the page signed in 1965 by his mother. But he didn't look at the page signed in 1987 by his wife. So he wanted to look back at his mom's page, but no way did he want to look at Diana's signature in the book. But there's wherever the royals go when they would have to, or should I say, not when they have to, but when part of the schedule included visiting dignitaries, they would always sign those guest books, if that's what you call them, guest books. But yeah, what a difference a day makes. And someone who is very disappointing to me, William, the one who decided to throw his mother under the bus, the man who wants to silence his mother in her demise. He wants to silence her and has also made friends with the antagonist that made her life living hell, Camilla. Um, I think he's closer to Camilla than he is Charles. William's BBC lies ruined my mother's life. And Harry says toxic culture led to her death. Well, brothers both have a different view as to how we should remember things toward the end of Diana's life. And William seems to side with the tabloids. And I'm going to explain my opinion about this one more time. By William saying that the BBC lies made my mother more paranoid and fueled my mother's paranoia. And also, he said that it helped make his parents even further apart from each other. Why don't you tell us who else was responsible for that? You see, I'm pretty sure that what he read was written by the tabloids, the Sun, the Daily Mail, and just like a big dum dum, he went out there and read it. The thing is, by him shifting all of the blame to the BBC, I guarantee you this much, it wasn't the BBC that was offering tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for photographs of his mother. That was the tabloids, the same tabloids that he and his father have gotten into bed with. I'm so sorry, I'm banging my hand. But those same tabloids that he and his father are rolling around in the bed with, those are the people that are most directly responsible. The tabloids offered a bounty for those photos, which led to the reckless chase. They never did get to how much was offered and who was willing to pay them. That part of the night, nobody talks about that. They'd rather believe that it was Monsieur Henri, which I don't believe it. They'd rather say that it was just okay, I will say the mysterious fiat that nobody can find, right? And so they have the coroner's inquest and all that kind of stuff. That was just to buy time to silence people because there were not enough people in the public going along with the explanation. But now that they have more people that believe that it was poor Monsieur Henri and less people that are willing to blame the tabloid media, they're satisfied. They can walk away from it now. End of inquest. That's it. All done now. Everybody go home. There's nothing else to look at here. So William has just handed a lifeline. He has just given an approval to the tabloids. He has given them an excuse that they're not to be blamed. That's why the tabloids love this, because William has shifted the blame away from them and put it on the BBC. And why is it so important to blame the BBC? Because of all of the news media in Britain, the most trusted, perhaps outside of Britain as well as inside of Britain, is the BBC. I believe more people trust the BBC than the Daily Mail, the Sun, the Express, the Mirror, and all that other trash. I do believe more people trust the BBC. Worldwide, most people trust the BBC. That is not to say that the BBC have not had their shadier moments, because they have, because they're stuck between Iraq and the royal family. So they have committed shade themselves, but they are still far more trustworthy than those other people I just mentioned. And so it is to the benefit of the tabloids that the BBC's reputation is completely ruined. And who better to do it than Willie Leaks? This is why I say they are using him. They are silencing his mother and using him to what do you call it? To obliterate any trust for the BBC. And I still say the BBC is a far more trusted brand than any of those others. As a matter of fact, I even have proof of that. Didn't even think to pull that out, but I even have proof of it. So that is what he has given. He has given aid and comfort to the enemy. So William is trying to silence his mom, said one of the squatties, the mother who made it clear she was not misled or tricked into this interview. Those were her words. And right there, you have a signed letter from Diana saying that these were my words. No matter how it came about, I said what I said. They're out to get me. That is the bottom line. Yes, they may have tricked her into giving them the scoop, Panorama, for BBC, but those were her words. And William is such a company man, as Harry has referred to him. He has become such a company man that he has totally ignored the memory of his mother. He rarely speaks of his mother. They have, and that maybe that's why he's so nutty. That's why he got those nutty-fied ways. Oh, don't I sound country? He got them old nutty-fied ways, just like his daddy. He do. He got them nutty-fied ways, just like his daddy. He really is a very useless individual. He has absolutely no backbone of his own, just so that he can keep the company with those people that he run around with all night. He has sold his mother out. That's what I believe. Yeah, even the Guardian has moments, Rory, where the Guardian, you know, just like with the New York Times, I love the New York Times, but from time to time, they will invite someone to write an article for them, and it takes you in a completely different direction. That is going to happen. But by and large, the BBC is still far more trustworthy than the rest of those. The BBC is part of the government's propaganda. They really are. I believe they said the BBC was created as part of propaganda from one of those agencies. And, I don't trust any of the big networks here in the US. I don't trust them, considering the people that own them, considering the people that run them, and considering that the American legacy networks are a big for profit business that routinely abuses the public with lies. Um, I don't trust them anymore. I used to trust NBC and CBS and ABC and CNN. I have nowhere to turn now. I don't trust any of them. I have nowhere to turn. The legacy media is so trashy. When I see those people in America that have absolutely no skin in the game when it comes to Harry and Meghan, they have no dog in the fight. But when I see them making all those snarky comments about Harry and Meghan, the Well, I guess that you know what I'm saying. They are just as evil and maniacal as any British network, as far as I'm concerned. I just cannot trust them. They helped Donald Trump in 2016. I'm convinced of that. Donald Trump was given complete, uh, coverage by the networks every time he went to a rally. That was like a free campaign commercial, and it happened over and over again. Because people complained for 2020, they didn't do that. They didn't give him all of that free airtime. That was stopped because there were too many people complaining about it. But for 2016, every time he would say something, it was trending day and night. So those people that I used to trust, they put him in the White House. And I'll never trust them again, ever. That's why more people get their news from social media than any place else, because you can't trust the networks. And that's not good either. I mean, you run the risk of being in an echo chamber, and that's not helpful to anyone. But it's better than the alternative, being brainwashed by the networks. Anyway, um, as you can see right here, the history of using mental health as a weapon, promulgating, I'm sorry, promoting that is, um, it promoting it is a stigma, colluding with Penny Junor and UK press to spread a lie that Diana had personality disorder. She didn't. This is abusive, selfish, and malicious. Well, what they're speaking of was the article that was in the page 6. Aides detail how King Charles staff made Diana's life hell with whatever it says. Princess Diana, former chief of staff, has blasted King Charles' former courtiers for spreading the original rumors that she was mentally ill. But that's the same thing they were trying to do to Harry. Remember, they started running those articles. William says, I just don't know my brother anymore. I can't put my arm. All of that was to try to pass Harry off as cuckoo. And they're still really trying to do it. They want that what they really want to say, and some of them just come out and say it, is that he's under the spell of Meghan, or there's some of them that say that he has gotten involved with some doctors or mental health people in California, and now he's just to California. That's the other thing that they have been trying to do. But yeah, if Harry had stayed there, Meghan would probably have been institutionalized, meaning that they would have sent her to some small town somewhere, never to be seen or heard from again. And Harry would probably, you know, look like he's heavily medicated and going on these, you know, uh, different tours and stuff on behalf of the government. That's probably what would have happened. They would have found some kind of way to really trap the both of them. Harry's making the same mistakes as Diana. I fear he'll come to regret it, just like his mother did, writes royal biographer Penny Junor. What the F is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? And she's not the only one that's written one of those very cryptic articles like that. Almost an implied threat, as far as I'm concerned. He may come to regret it. How about the one that wrote the article saying that Harry is risking a real car wreck? What was it? The car wreck interview or something like that? Seriously? Those are threats. Those are very, very public threats, as far as I'm concerned. I am going to allege that those are threatening articles. and comments. The Duke of Cambridge, frustrated by BBC's failure to address the false narrative by Martin Bashir's Panorama interview with Diana, Princess of Wales, Prince William still feels a lot of hurt and pain at how his mother was duped by Bashir. Do you really feel that? Are you really more angry at Martin Bashir than you are at Camilla? Are you more angry at the BBC than you are at your own father? It's obvious the establishment is working to silence Diana. Now they have challenged the way the interview was obtained. They are going to challenge its contents. What I can't believe is son of Charles is leading this, says Dr. Zane. William hoped the BBC would finally question the interview's legitimacy with its apology this week. And here is what is that? Whatever at India Night's column on the scandal. Great to see credit for my colleague Rosamund Irwin, whose tireless reporting exposed Bashir's deceit. They meant to make Martin Bashir the patsy. Yep, they meant to make him the patsy. It was just like Lee Harvey Oswald, make him the patsy. So I do believe that Martin Bashir is unable to speak about any of this publicly. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but remember, he was too ill at some point, which, okay, he was too ill, right? But he cannot speak about this publicly for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. I really don't know. But they got to him some kind of way. It's a good thing that William and Earl Spencer fighting for it. It is not about what Diana said. It is about how they got it, how these lies influenced her. They manipulated her and used her already vulnerable. See there? Her already vulnerable state. This person is replying to Roy Anika. All of this is for Roy Anika, or from Roy Anika. And of course, you already know who that is. That's one of the Royal Rota. Diana was groomed and manipulated to deliver ratings. I agree with that. What you saw and heard were her feelings and thoughts. However, they came from the fear and paranoia fed and encouraged by Bashir. I don't agree with that. Diana had been living in fear much longer than the period of time she sat in that chair talking to Martin Bashir, much longer than she's known Martin Bashir. The damage that interview has done is still evident in the family to this day, shameful. Listen, you all believe what you want to believe. Diana had been manipulated the day that she was introduced to Charles. That's when the manipulation started. That is when all of this coercion and manipulation started. That was between Diana's grandmother, Charles' grandmother, Charles' parents, and of course, Camilla. We found someone who is rather placid, someone who is not too bright, someone that we can shape and mold into whatever image we want. And you know, from the sounds of it, it sounds like I'm talking about Kate Middleton. But no, not this time. This is what they were expecting from Diana. Thank you, Adrian Burrow. Oh, yeah. Little Max says, don't forget that woman from Tatler Magazine who wrote that article about Kate and, oh, yeah, Catherine the Great. She couldn't talk at first. on the podcast. She said, "Thank you, little Mac." Okay, so since we like to erase people, since we are of this notion of erasures, we like to erase people. I I'm going to take a cue from the palace, from Charles, Camilla, from the dreadful um, Royal Rhoda. I'm going to do some erasing of my own, just like that, just like that. I know how to erase people too. You want to erase my people? I erase your people. Hello. 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 You want to erase my people? I erase your people. See there? Nobody misses them. It's as though they never were. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Yes, I like erasing people too. Sometimes you just have to eliminate them. You have to just reach down deep and just scrape them off you have to scrape them like the barnacles of humanity. Yep, like a barnacle on the side of a barge. You just gotta scrape them off. That's what you do. You take a big spatula and you just scrape until you can flick them away into the oblivion. And then once you've scraped hard enough, they usually don't come back. All you got to do is just put a fresh paint job on the hole and they're gone. They are gone. So that's how I do things.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Because ain't nobody got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Sure don't. Ain't got time for it. So, as I was saying, that looks much better. That looks much better. Like the pages of Town and Country magazine. Now, Prince Harry, all I want to do is make my mother proud. Instead of like the other one, all he wants to do is just forget she ever exists. But he just wants to make his mother proud. Diana understood him. And there you can see Harry walking in his mother's footsteps. There's Diana. All of those craters that you see, that's the area where Diana had gone to help them rid themselves of those landmines. And on the bottom left, you can see how they have maimed so many children, right? But if you look in the middle, there's Harry. Harry sits beneath the Diana tree in Huambo, Angola, which marks the spot where the Princess of Wales was photographed in 1997. So you can see her up there on the upper left. And also, if you look on the right, that is where she was photographed. And there's Harry all these years later wearing one of the Halo Trust armaments with a face shield, doing the same work, bringing attention to one of his mother's favorite causes, most memorable causes. And there on the bottom right, you can see he's helping to detonate some of those landmines. And thanks to Diana, legislation was created to rid the world of these armaments, these anti-personnel landmines. There's so many places today where they haven't even found all of them, and still people are being maimed and killed by these landmines. And take a look there. On the left, when Harry made that recording, you see the one there on the bottom left? It took one of the sharp-eyed squatties to notice that it is in one of the rooms, possibly at Buckingham Palace. I can't remember which one. But you can see there's Harry standing on the windowsill, and there's Willie sitting on the bench, and Diana peeking around the door there. The very same room. And there on the right side, like mother, like son, peeking around the door. Yeah, they were as thick as thieves, as Harry would say. I love that photo. And there, of course, you can really see the that Spencer in Harry. You could really see that Spencer blood. I know, Creative Life. Wasn't that adorable? And look at this. I do believe that Harry is speaking to that same young lady that Diana spoke with all those years ago. Well, fast forward to today, and there she is. She has been fitted with a prosthetic, which is very expensive, getting those prosthetics. Once they're able to make them in other countries, where they need them the most, then they're not as expensive, but they're still very expensive for most people, which is why the aid and charities that provide them are doing such an amazing thing. Because even for someone in the U.S. with all of the privileges of being such a wealthy country, if you don't have the insurance for it, they can be very, very cost prohibitive. So um, they're made to order. They're made to order. So, fortunately, she has that. And take a look there. I love this little collage. Um, the charity that Harry is visiting there, you can see he has done a recreation of that image of his mother on the big staircase. And also, he has gone on runs with them and such. What is it? The running charity? Okay, I guess that's the name of it. But anyway, I believe this place is for homeless youth. I do believe it's for yeah, homeless youth. But I think it's for runaways or something. But anyhow, that is a very cool image. And I love this day. That was very cool. I mean, part of me is always happy when I see this. Then I get a little sad and sentimental. But these are Harry's moments. These are his memories, what he can remember because of his childhood trauma. A lot of things he said he has been so he finds it so difficult to remember certain things. He remember the places, but the actual situations and such, a lot of those he doesn't have the memory. I heard John Kennedy say years ago that he doesn't know what he remembers from his own memory or what he remembers from the tens of thousands of photographs that were taken in his lifetime, which is something I didn't think about until that moment because I wasn't born in the digital age. And so for these kids that have been born in the digital age, I suppose it's the same for them because in their lifetime, they will have a million photos or more. But for someone like myself, an old baby boomer, I'm blessed to have the few images of my childhood that I do have. And I must admit, some of them I don't remember as much as the others. It's just like this um, image of me in certain places, and maybe I remember clearly, or maybe I think I remember. It's hard to say. So, but the big if, had Diana lived, had they remained separated, there's no reason why she would not have become queen. Although Diana said she did not believe that she would ever be queen, but that she would prefer to be the queen of people's hearts. And that's how she will be remembered, a queen of hearts. These, of course, are AI generated. But still, makes you wonder. Hi, Melina Lucia. Thank you for being here. And take a look there. Part of Camilla's conquest of all things Diana, part of her attempt to erase Diana from memory, Her Maj Sequin Service, Her Majesty's Secret Service. What are they talking about? Well, Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, picks Diana's favorite designer for coronation gown after they became firm friends. All of these word plays are just so, oh God, Matt Wilkinson, I cannot stand that queen. Anyway, of course, out of all the designers, she had to make sure she had found someone associated with Princess Diana. And that's only because Versace is no longer alive. Otherwise, she'd probably be sitting in Versace's lap at this point. And then there on the right side, you can see Diana wearing what? White to I'm sorry. You can see Camilla wearing white to Diana's wedding. Camilla is wearing white to Diana's wedding. And there's Charles looking around, looking for Camilla. And noticing Charles being distracted, Diana eventually looks over toward Camilla. Now, fortunately, you guys. Oh well, let me continue with this. Bruce Oldfield, 72, is working in secret for 75-year-old Queen Consort Camilla after they became firm friends. I could just barf. A chance meeting with Diana led to a 10-year friendship. He and her as well, it's a typo, as perfect he had her as a perfect client. This is from one of the squatties. He said, when I look back, it was relentless for her. We did dress her up like she was going to a wedding every day. He was awarded the OBE in 1990 and has been something. I don't know. That's all messed up there. But take a look. Bruce Oldfield is a perfect but also risky choice to design the Queen Consort's coronation gown. The British designer is also synonymous with the late Diana, Princess of Wales, for whom he created more than 100 gowns. Isn't that something? Again, why did it have to be Bruce Oldfield? She's like a body snatcher, isn't she? Anyway, it turned out to be okay. Although the dress that he made for Camilla looked like barbed wire. Now, I found the original photo. To me, it was an insult that they would take an image of Diana and put it next to Camilla like they were friends. You see that on the left side? I believe that that was the son that did that. I was insulted by that. And so I had to hunt down on the internet to find the original photo before they airbrushed it, before they photoshopped it. And now, if you take a look on the left, you can see the actual image of Camilla before they had a chance to airbrush it. Oh, you're welcome. You know, I'm very thorough. You're welcome. I wanted to make sure that she got exactly what she had coming. So if Bruce Oldfield likes dressing silky chickens, who am I to get involved? Who am I? Yeah, I thought it was too good to be true. I said, wait a minute, they edited that photo. Camilla's not supposed to be next to Diana. So when I found the original image of Camilla, I realized not only did they cut and paste her into the image, but they also tried to make her look a little more attractive. And I was having none of it. So there you go. How can those who mourned for Diana betray her now by crowning the woman who stole her husband, her throne, and her sanity? It just goes to show you how fickle the public is. The public is really fickle. It's those same kind of people that put Donald Trump in office back in 2016. Those same kind of people that voted for Brexit. That's who does stuff like that. Those same kind of people. Now, take a look here. Kate and kids living with mom. You know, I could not keep track of this one. I don't think I've ever shared this article before, but I certainly saved the cover from the Star magazine, but it's from June 3rd, 2019. Now, I don't remember when they first started talking about Adelaide Cottage, but it seems to me that somebody was leaking the idea that the Cambridges were not living together. And I do believe they were not sharing the same household. I have said that for a long time. Adelaide Cottage was just a convenient place to put uh, Kate, allegedly, an alleged little safe house for Kate so that William could be free to run about as he pleases, allegedly. So, yeah, June 3rd, 2019, that is when the article from the Star came out about Kate living with her mom. And right there, you can see William admits to making a mistake. Kate down to 94 pounds and can't sleep. She doesn't want to end up like who? Diana. It says she doesn't want to end up like Diana. Wow. And since we have not seen her since Christmas, who's to say that she might not even be worse off than Diana? She may even be worse off than Diana. She may, as hard as it's to believe, she may have ended up worse off than Diana. We really don't know. We really don't know. We won't know until we know. And that's all we know. All we know is we won't know until we know. Another Kate Middleton sighting, unedited pics or it didn't happen. Well, until we see some photos, I'm just going to say it didn't happen. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is said to be out and about again for the first time since December, making a casual public appearance after weeks of speculation about her well being. Now, I believe this was in reference to the farmers market before they actually released that video of the girl that was walking so fast. It makes you wonder how come Kate can't go back to work. And there on the right side, Prince William is hurt after seeing Kate Middleton hounded like his mother, Princess Diana, was, royal expert claims, as social media explodes with outlandish conspiracy theories about royals' health. Well, that was back in March, March the 18th, right? This year. And I believe, is that Roy Anika? Or yeah, I think that's Roy Anika. Listen though, if everybody's so upset and so outraged, why don't we remember how Meghan was treated? And because people were starting to reflect on Meghan, 4 days later, that's when we had the picture, actually the video of Kate. Remember, March 22nd, Kate was sitting on the bench talking about cancer. If that was Kate. Jeannie Bond pointing out the double standard in reporting of Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton wasn't on my bingo card, but she didn't lie. I can't criticize everything Meghan does and says, then demand kindness for Kate. So that was a comment from one of the squatties, and it was in reference to Jeannie Bond pointing out that it is very awkward for them to be so hypercritical of Meghan and yet demand that people give Kate a break. Now, usually Jeannie Bond is acting as a mouthpiece for the firm. I think this one she may have actually done her on her own. But I don't have the video to play for you right now. But Jeannie Bond did point out that you can't be so critical of one and then ask for sympathy for the other. And of course, that was temporary. Now everybody's going back to, saying the worst about Meghan again. But she was trying to give them pause because the world was paying attention. It wasn't the bubble of royalists and super fans. It was most people in the world were finally seeing the disparity, and they were asking questions and calling out the media, the British tabloid media, and they didn't like that attention. So the palace was like, well, what if we put Kate on a bench? And that is what shut it down for a little while. Oh, now I do have a soundbite for you. Apparently, there are going to be an announcement. Yes, you remember that, don't you? I wanted to share that with you because it is so. Remember how I kept saying, wasn't there supposed to be some kind of announcement for 2024? Well, I did not realize that someone had made a video about it. I did not realize that someone had made a video about it. So let me grab that. Talk to you on the other side.
Apparently, there's going to be an announcement in the new year of a royal divorce. Could it be King Charles and Queen Camilla? Is he finally tired of trying to be her tampon? Or could it be Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? That's who people would like it to be, isn't it? I mean, they've been hoping for this for years. They still haven't got over the fact that Prince Harry left the royal family to enjoy his life. Or could it be Prince Edward and Sophie? Is he going to finally run off with the man of his dreams? Or could it be Prince William, Princess Kate? Because rumours have been spreading for years that Prince Willie is very keen on having a rose garden. Who's your money on? Apparently, there's going to be an announcement in the new year of a royal divorce. Could it be King Charles and Queen Camilla? Is he finally tired of trying to be her tampon? Or could it be Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? That's who people would like it to be, isn't it? I mean, they've been hoping for this for years. They still haven't got over the fact that Prince Harry left the royal family to enjoy his life. Or could it be Prince Edward and Sophie? Is he going to finally run off with the man of his dreams? Or could it be Prince William, Princess Kate?
Okay. And let me see, what is her name? Oh, it was on the other one there. That's it. It's it's a Daisy Life. It's a Daisy Life. Yeah, I guess that's the name of her. But she's on what's that thing? TikTok. Yeah, she's on TikTok. But I love the fact that she was choking on saying Queen Camilla. That was hilarious. But yeah, so it was not my imagination. And you guys did tell me, yes, there was supposed to be some announcement of a divorce in 2024. But what if the person that was supposed to get a divorce decided to take a sick leave? Huh? What if that person that was supposed to get a divorce took a sick leave? And God forbid, the person who was supposed to be divorced, maybe they tried to do something dramatic, something terribly dramatic that caused them to go to the hospital on the 28th. Now, I want you to take notice of the date here. It is December 27th, 2023. And that very strange, unexplained motorcade to the hospital from Sandringham Estate, that was on the 28th of December. Surely that's just a coincidence. Surely that's just a coincidence. But it was the new year was approaching. At this point, Kate was not allowed to go to Singapore. Kate was not allowed to go to New York City. William has even let it be known that he was going to do things on his own henceforth, and that they're not going to do things together as much. So there was so much evidence pointing in the direction of a pending divorce in 2024. Now, whose divorce? I guess we'll never know. If 2024 comes and go and there's no royal divorce, then I guess we'll never know. But as it stands, we're what, just about halfway through the year? What's it going to be? And of course, the Minister of Hacks, one of my favorite, the Minister of Hacks. Let's see what he has to say. Minister of Hacks. Oh, is that the right one? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Wait a minute, you guys. I got it. Or do I? Or don't I? Okay, I knew everything was going too smooth. Okay, got it.
Morning, happy Friday. Hope you've had a brilliant week. We made it to the end of the week. Well done. Thumbs up to you. The shape shifting, chameleon like headlines keep changing. Why is Kate now still receiving chemotherapy on the 31st of May when the cancer video was released on the 22nd of March? So, more than 2 months later, after the initial announcement, there's still a course of chemotherapy happening for Kate. It just doesn't add up to me, but comments are open. Would love your opinion. Tell me what you think. Either this extended program of chemotherapy is telling us that Kate is much more ill than everybody believes, or it's a complete smokescreen because something else is going on that the press want to draw our little beady eyes away from. Which is it? It can only be A or B. It can't be anything else. Comments are open. What do you think? Have a smashing day.
Okay, so there you go. That is a lot of chemotherapy, but I guess they know what they're doing. Okay, this is the last sound bite I'm going to share with you. This is also an oldie but goodie. This is someone, let me see, we are witnessing the beginning of the end of the royal family. So this is an American. This is an American. And I have to tell you, she kind of drops the F bomb, but bear with me. Well, I mean, she's an American. You know how y'all know how we talk. Just a little F bomb. Ready? Here we go.
Kate has been miserable for a long time. And I bet she was secretly jealous that Meghan and Harry got the fuck out of there when they did. And there was also all this news media about when Harry and Meghan left and they went to Montecito and how, like, you know, oh, so privileged and how dare they walk away from the royal family. I live up here in New England, and the big family up here are the Kennedys, okay? And the Kennedys, if you know anything about the Kennedy family, they have had decades and decades of strange deaths, a lot of power, a lot of money, and just all this, all these conspiracies, and they just have this like black cloud over their head. I don't think that Kate Middleton has been happy for a long time. I think that she has been waiting for her chance to get out. And frankly, I do not think that she had abdominal surgery. I think like everything that the royal family does is they try to spin things. It's like the magician where like you watch the card trick in this hand, but really the trick is happening in the other hand while everyone's trying to watch the card trick. That is exactly what the royal family does. I don't believe one word that the royal family is saying, or any of their people, their PR people. Kate Middleton doesn't edit her own photos. They have people that like wipe all their asses. So like, give me a break. She's not playing on her iPhone like you and I do. There's certain things that are not allowed in the royal family. We saw the interview with Meghan and Harry and about the things that we see. It's all curated to show like this wealth and power. And I think what we're witnessing right now is the complete breakdown and dissolve of the royal family. I think that it's a number of things. It's, you know, what's his name there? Prince Andrew being on Love Island down in the Caribbean with Epstein. And now they're saying that, you know, that Prince William is having a love child with Rose, whatever the fuck her name is. Kate has been trying to plan her escape, and she can't. It's not like you and I, where we can go see a mediator and a lawyer and figure out like weekend visits for the kids. This is so embedded and so in depth that it's going to take her a very long time to untangle herself from this family. Before she met Prince William, she was just a regular commoner girl going out to clubs and going to college and doing her thing, just like a regular person. And I think from the outside, it looks like this. Wow, it'd be so magical. You know, you're a princess and you're marrying your prince and you're going to live in a castle and you're going to be protected and you're going to have all this wealth and jewels and all this. And I think that it's an omen. I think anyone that comes from the outside and goes into that family discovers that they are depressed, they're disillusioned. Look at Princess Diana. She would do things that the royal family told her that she should not do. And she was like, I'm going to do it anyway. I think we're going to find out really soon that Kate is dissolving that marriage and she's going to get the hell out of it. And it happened after the Queen died. The longest person ever in the royal family that lived is gone now.
Why was she whispering? Why was she whispering? If I wasn't scared, she didn't scared the crap out of me now. I don't know why she was whispering. She like, what? And look at her eyes. Look at those eyes. I mean, she was literally whispering. And and she. What do you want me to be up all night? Lord. I mean, could she have told that any creepier than she already has? I don't think so. That was a lot. That was a lot, ma'am. But whatever it was or was not, I'm here to tell you, she definitely got my attention. That definitely got my attention. But this well, let me see. What was the date of that? That was anyway, it's not a new video. I think it may have been from March. I think it may have been from March. But I have to say it was very interesting the things that she said. It's all alleged, of course, but it was very interesting. I like the way she tells her stuff. So that is the name of her channel right there. And she does talk about other things, but she just seems like one of those people that you meet in New England. You know what I'm saying? Like the person who warns you, do not go into this town, that you got to get out of here by sunset, and make sure that if you stay that you're in the house, and you got to put some lamb's blood around the door, otherwise she is scary. I would believe anything she says, actually. She just seems like that person that knows what's going on, and she knows that yeah, like a whole family stopped at the Texaco, and they've never been seen again since, and some guy with a long beard was seen driving their car out of town that night. Ooh. Uh, she's good, isn't she? She's good. I'm telling you, if you weren't scared before, I'm pretty sure you're probably a little nervous now. Yep. If she hadn't scared you before, I'm pretty sure you're probably just a little shaky now. I guess it's just the way she tells it, right? It's not what she says, it's the way she says it. Anyway, I got to stop looking at her eyes because she's starting to scare me. Okay, so contrary to reports, no pension for Obama's mother in law. I didn't want to talk about this earlier, but I just want to remind you guys that there are so many similarities about how things can get very strange when Black people are involved. And there's a lot of similarities in the way they have treated um, the um, the first lady's mother, and the way that they have treated our beloved Doria. And it's always the idea that the mother-in-law is coming along so that she can get over, like she's going to move in because, well, after all, they're since the daughter is doing so well, she has to bring her mother along, right? Same thing. They had this big lie about um, that this was during the election time, by the way. They said that, oh, well, anyway, I'll just share it with you. A story published by a satire website said Marian Robinson, Michelle Obama's mother, had earned a DH 587680 lifetime pension, something that has been relayed by a number of other sites despite being false. In other words, the pension was for the benefit of Michelle Obama's mother for helping to take care of Sasha and Malia while the Obamas were in the White House, and that the um, the Obamas had demanded this pension or gifted this pension to Michelle's mother because um, she was part like she was acting like part of the White House staff. Now, there is no salary for the First Lady, right? And there is no salary ever for extended family members unless you're Trump and you bring your daughter and son in law into the White House. But otherwise, there's usually no salary for relatives because that just usually doesn't happen. Um, and so, this idea that there's some kind of pension for her mother was a big lie. But they used it for fundraising, they used it to anger the MAGA people against the Democrats. It was a big lie. Remember how Doria was moving into Frogmore? Doria was invited for Christmas. Doria this, Doria that. They could not stop thinking about Doria. Doria was 5,000 miles away, and yet they had every type of scenario where Doria was going to get something for nothing, something that could have gone to a real British person. In other words, somebody white. That's what the problem was. It wasn't that the royal family routinely hands over stuff to anybody and everybody. The idea was that a black woman was going to get over because her daughter managed to scheme her way into the royal family. It's that same theme. It's that same theme. And that no matter how much education that Michelle Obama has, or how much education um, Meghan has, no matter how hard they have worked in their lifetimes, whatever they get, it was using their cunning and their coerciveness and their witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. Nothing ever happens for them through hard work. That is reserved for real people, not them or they. Always happens. It always happens. It's just like if it didn't happen, I would be surprised because there's always someone, some right winger, some supremacist that is going to start beating some drum, and they'll say, "Oh, it was just satire." No, it was just satire. It was just a joke. Iris Demonia says, "Queen dies broken, wand, witches, and guns." uh, well, thank you, Iris Demonia. I mean, listen, all of those things play into it. If I had a neighbor like that lady, I would just move. I would, because I would be too nervous all the time. I'd be too what happened? What happened? Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. So, despite misleading reports, oh my goodness, it's already been an hour and a half. I meant to do this in about an hour. Misleading reports after a successful Nigeria visit. Meghan and Harry vowed to do more overseas tours. Well, that's what they said, ignoring the misleading reports claiming that Nigeria First Lady castigated the Duchess of Sussex for dressing indecently during her trip to Nigeria, a claim which the First Lady's office told AFP fact check was untrue, and the unfortunate media reports that followed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have vowed to carry out more overseas tours following a hugely successful 3 days in Nigeria. All right. And there are some photos from that trip showing just a couple of glimpses of how well things were. About the expansion of our partnership. Oh, yeah. This is the Gene Co. That's that first place they visited as soon as they got to Nigeria. They're going to expand their partnership with Archwell Foundation, currently serving young women across Nigeria with products and education to include mental health resources and training for young men and women. How did that get in there? I should have read this first. This expansion kicked off our inaugural mental health summit, which took place May the 10th and 11th and served nearly 200 students in Abuja, Nigeria capital. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, opened the summit by delivering inspiring remarks to young people in attendance. Our hearts are full. All right. And here it says, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what it says because I can see that word jumping out again. Anyway, I want you to meet the prosecutors that made Donald Trump's life a living hell. And thank goodness that we live in a country where people are judged by the character of this. I'm sorry, by the color of the. What am I saying? People are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the contents of their character, which is why these incredibly talented, well educated people were able to learn the law and eventually go on to become district attorneys, prosecutors, etc. And so, cheers to all three of them. And of course, people are saying that Donald Trump is going to have a chance to have his case appealed. Well, I want you to take a look there. What are the grounds for appeal? Well, whatever it is, this is the Manhattan Appeals Court, by the way. So when Donald Trump is ready to appeal his case, look at the people that he will face. These are the justices for the Court of Appeals. So good luck, Orange Menace. Good luck. You're going to need it. Boy, I tell you, somebody like Donald Trump, his worst nightmare. Every place he turned, there's more black people. I bet you he didn't know there was that many black people in all of the United States of America. But what is it, 40, 50 million? Whatever the number is, they just keep finding him and he finds them. All right. And of course, this is why I can't quit Twitter. According to Melissa Murray, Professor Melissa Murray, who loves Princess Meghan, she says this is why she cannot quit Twitter. It's because of tweets like this. Melania is spotted after the guilty verdict. This poor guy, they just use him, don't they? They just use him. Anyway, thank you, Mod Squad, for keeping us a safe space. And remember, when you see our queens, it's time to go. You know what I mean? And our last word of today is, let me see, I have it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Know what's truly precious. As a parent, we're not raising babies. You're raising little people. Don't worry about whether anybody else likes you. Come home. We'll always like you here. Those are some of those quotes from Michelle's mother that they spoke about earlier. So I figured it would be nice to make those the last words of the day. So those are just four of the things that she said in the past. Don't sweat the small stuff. Know what's truly precious. As a parent, you're not raising babies, you're raising little people. And of course, don't worry about whether anybody likes you. Come home. We'll always like you here. So, very wise words. And with that, I am going to say goodnight, and I will see you all tomorrow. Love you guys, and we will close with the Ginger Avenger as per usual. See ya.
love you, Harry.
You're right. You won't.
We love you, Harry. Love you.